A revolutionary. Say whoa. Trap revolutionary. Got the wave it too scary. Doing this thing like Malcolm ain't by any means necessary. We ain't got it by no one seen hand. We got the master plan. Get the movement going on. Right here where we stand, man. We bucking and stumping, fist pumping. Even though they tried to set us up for failure and kill us, we keep on coming. That's why somebody gotta step up and say something about the bullshit. Because if not, the blind gon' keep leaving.
What's going on, y'all? I'm gonna do this video real quick. Just talk about something I was thinking about being in alignment. Had a home. I'm standing up actually doing this video because I'm trying to avoid the glare. I don't really do my videos in the daytime like this, but just want to do a video about being in alignment. They're just thinking like it's very important in regards to, you know, your efforts, I believe, will be a lot more easier when you are in alignment with, you know, your purpose or whatever you're doing in life. You know, when you are on a journey and you're trying to accomplish certain things. Actually, and it's I'm glad I did a video on this because even with me, you know, certain things that I'm about to embark on, journey I'm about to embark on, and I think it would be more in alignment with what I'm about. Like, for instance, you know, me and a homeboy of mine too. I mean, he's just now getting fitness. He's about to get, personal trainer. He's about to get his personal trainer certification and everything. And so we want to launch a concept, you know, like a healthy menu, like a healthy food truck pulling up to gyms. You know, and I already mentioned in a few, videos before how I would like to be able to pull up to gyms around the nation. You know what I mean? I actually think it would be big, sort of doing salads and smoothies, you know. Also, eventually doing breakfast too in the morning. You know, like I know, healthy gym goers in the morning, like get there like early, like 5 o'clock, getting up out of around 6:30. They would probably most likely want something to eat, something healthy. You know what I mean? Like get that quick, boom, I'm going to work. I already got my breakfast, you know what I'm saying? A little wrap or a bowl, healthy protein, a bowl or whatever, smoothie, protein smoothie or something like that in the morning, you know what I mean, before they go to work. So want to launch that concept, because what I've been doing, my concept, original food truck concept was treat yourself. I'm serving peach cobbler and ice cream, which I like peach, I love sweets, but I'm kind of getting away from that because I feel like right now I want to eat better. I want to, I want to live a healthier life, and my excuse, of course, I'm like, okay, I work out hard. I can eat whatever I want to eat. I'm gonna work it off in the gym. But now I'm like, okay, yeah, I am, I work out hard, but now it's like, what if I ate a little better and still worked out hard? I'm thinking to myself, how much better I look, how much healthier I would be. So now I feel like that's more in alignment with who I am, launching this healthy food truck concept, So I think in life, I think we should do more things that are in alignment with us and who we are. You know what I mean? And there's no knock though, like I said, if you selling funnel cakes or whatever you may do, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what I do now. Sell peach cobbler ice cream, funnel cakes, like burgers, fries, pasta, black and chicken pasta, stuff like that, So, but I think, and actually I think it would be a little easier. And it goes more so with, I said, what I'm about and who I am, and just, what I like, you know what I mean? So, I know that's going to go better. I know that would be more in alignment with who I am. Also, I think it would just be easier to do. You know what I mean? Just even affecting my efforts. My efforts would be, I feel like, better in that sense, and me wanting to feed healthy food to myself. I know I want to feed healthy food to other people, you know what I mean? Especially, you trying to reach your goal, gym goals or whatever, it's like you want to eat healthy, You know what I mean? I know it's like, especially gonna put them to the gym. Like for instance, people in the morning, know they getting up out of there. They don't work out hard. They want to get to work. They want something healthy to eat. You know what I mean? Even in people also at night. You know what I mean? Coming out of the gym. I know some people might not want to go home necessarily and have to cook. So they come to us and we have the healthy options, because I know in some senses people come out the gym and then they're like, dang, I don't want to go home and cook. And then they end up falling into that trap to where they just grab anything. They might go get fried chicken, might go get a chicken sandwich or something, you know what I mean? Instead of coming out the gym, having a healthy protein bowl or salad or, smoothie or juice to be able to consume after they done did their workout, you know what I mean? So, that would even, like I said, would be a lot more healthy than, like I said, people that, end up coming out the gym, even though they worked out hard, they're putting something in their bodies that may not be as, effective or efficient of a fuel, you know what I mean, if they would, like going to just grab anything. They come and get, the best fuel possible, something healthy coming out the gym. And it's like, it just helps their fitness goals even more, you know what I mean? So I was thinking about that. And, like I said, I want to do a video on that because I just think that it would be very, very healthy, also helpful to a person, especially like doing the gym and they're, working out like that. And then they have something healthy to eat, So and that's just like I said, it's more in alignment with what I'm about and what I'm trying to do, in my business journey, even with like me working, I know eventually, like I work for General Motors, I know eventually, but I'm gonna have to leave, you know what I mean? I just think that I know that for me to accomplish my goals is like I need all of my time. I need all of my time free for me to be able to do, what I need to do to accomplish those goals. So, but yeah, I just want to get on here and say that because I just think that, being in alignment, you will accomplish more, you'll do more, and I think you will just overall be better within your spirit, like within yourself, knowing that you're doing something that is on purpose, like on purpose, like, or in purpose, or fulfilling your purpose, you know what I mean? It's in alignment with you and your purpose, in life. Some of us know, of course, some of us, we might not know what our purpose is, but, when you know that, what your purpose is, and you can, like I said, it would just come to you, your effort, it's like, would be, double or triple, you know what I mean? Because it's just going to be a lot more easier. It's just going to be in alignment with who you are, for what you're, doing in life, you know what I mean? And the output, what you're putting out to accomplish whatever you're trying to accomplish. Another thing, and in saying that, I think that it is a better, it's better for you, it's better for you in the sense that you are working towards something and your purpose is being fulfilled and it's fulfilling you as well. You know what I mean? I know I said, relating back to, people that may not know their purpose. To me, this is what I'm saying, because I know there's many ways that people say, oh, this is how you figure out your purpose. I would say me, you know what I'm saying, and relating this to other people. Your purpose, if you don't know your purpose, how to find your purpose is something that comes, that you have a passion for. And also that thing you have a passion for, it comes like it's natural. It's just easy. It's easy for you to do. You know what I mean? It's no, it's like, it's just easy. You know what I mean? It's not, you don't have difficulty doing it. You know what I mean? It's like you make it look easy. Whatever, somebody may find it hard, you make it look easy. So, and another thing too, in regards to purpose, it's like if you have a real passion for it, I think that too. You may not, it may not be some people, may not be coming to some people. It may be something just totally different or whatever, but that may be your passion though. You may really, really enjoy, and like I said, it's easier for you to do it compared to other people. Some people they may, they just like they can't stand it, they can't put up with it. But you may find it's a passion, you good at it, good doing it, and you love it. You know what I mean? So, I think for some of us it's like it's making music. For some of us it may be, fixing on cars. For some of us it may be fixing on computers or whatever, even for the people that, paint or whatever, some people paint, it just comes natural, so, I think it's a number of ways to find out your purpose, but I would say one of them is something that comes natural to you, and then you really have a passion for it. Like God put it on your spirit to where you really do have a passion for that thing, and you do it well, So I think that's the thing, but that's not to say like, if it's certain things like you shouldn't practice or whatever, because we all need to sharpen our tools, like we actually need to sharpen our tools that we have in our tool belt, of those certain things that may be a talent for us, what I mean? Like I said, but others, it may be just totally difficult, something they just can't do. But I would still say, still get your gift, whatever it is that you may have, that God bless you with, still kind of sharpen that skill, sharpen those tools you have, in regards to that gift, what I'm saying? Because like I said, I think it's a passion for you. I was, say that's when you find your purpose, it's a passion and you do it well. It's like a gift. It's like a gift from God, what I mean, that you have. Some of us, it's poetry, conversation. Some people, we got the gift of gab. We know how to talk, what I mean? Some people know how to dress. That may be your gift. You know how to dress. You know how to, put things together. You know what I mean? You may just go into that, interior decorating. You never know, dealing with, computers or whatever, coding or whatever it may be. Like you just know how to do certain things well with computers, programming or whatever it may be. So, I think that's one of the ways to be able to know your purpose. Like I said, you really got a passion at it, and it's like a gift from God. You do it well. So, but just like I said, I want to get on here and say that because I think that we can excel at certain things when we are in alignment, and actually like reach like a maximum potential when we are in alignment on certain things, that's like within our, in alignment with who we are, so, like I said, even with me, I'm just, saying that because like I said, I'm doing certain things, right now that I'm trying to get more in alignment, and not to say that, some of us, we may not be in alignment with, who we are right now, but I mean, it's not to say that we can't, and not be able to. And I think we can and try to do that, and get in alignment and, and stay in alignment. You know what I mean? And if we're not, try to get there. That's what I said, what I'm doing. I'm literally trying to get there. I'm trying to, get in the right place to where I can, where I can do things that I know in alignment with who I am and my purpose in life, So I think that's really something that like we need to think about. And I think actually it'll make the world a better place too. You know what I mean? Because I think like some of us, we're working places that may not be the best for us or in alignment with who we are. You know what I mean? And I honestly think that would make the world better too. And I talked about this in the prior video too about like our we're doing shadow work, working on ourselves and, not being afraid to be who we truly are, being true to our true selves, being our true selves. You know what I mean? I think instead of us being fearful, because even me, I be afraid sometimes too. Like knowing, I feel like, honestly, I do feel like, okay, I know I'm working a job, but I know eventually I'm gonna have to get away from the job though. So I can manifest what I'm really trying to manifest. And not be afraid to step away. But I know in a sense, it's like, dang, man, I got this income coming in. This is coming in for sure. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have to worry about that not being able to not coming in no more. You know what I mean? But it's like sometimes you just gotta like we know step out on faith and be able to you know what I'm saying, be able to accomplish those things, you know. And I think that comes down to having faith as well, you know what I mean? Because, you know, like I had mentioned in the video too, like you can have a whole bunch of faith and no work, but in this sense, you can have a whole bunch of work and no faith, and then it still end up you're still end up doing yourself a disservice. You know what I mean? Because it'll have you locked in, and I'm kind of describing myself. It'll have you locked into a certain thing or a certain job instead of having the faith to like, you know what, I know what I got to do, and I'm just gonna have to have faith, you know, to do it. Because I'm putting in the work. I'm putting in the work to do it, but it's like I'm still afraid though. You know, I'm still afraid to step away and put all my efforts in what I know that's in alignment with who I am. You know what I mean? So I know that I can give the world a part of me that they're not going to get if I don't do this. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, the world may need that. You know, they may need some you have to offer. You know, so it can help make the world better, or so it can, you know, benefit somebody in the world. Some of the people that need what you have to offer here in this world. You know, so you know, I would say even that. You know, I think. Yeah, just like I was saying in that video, you know, we got to put in the work, but also I think we need to have the faith as well. You know, the faith to do those things, to accomplish those things, and ask God to help us. You know what I mean? And just rely on that faith. You know, but that have that strong faith at the same time having that strong work. You know, to go behind that faith. You know, so you know, I would say that, man. Like, yeah, I said let's all do that. Like have that strong faith, man, you know what I'm saying? But also, like I said in that video, putting in that strong amount of work as well, you know, and being in alignment with who we are. That's just what it is. I just think it's going to be it'll be a lot easier for us, a lot easier for you or, you know, whoever it may be, you may know, to accomplish, you know, great things, you know, being in have, like I said, have faith to, you know, and being in alignment with who we truly are. You know, so yeah, I just wanted to say that because you know, I think we need that, you know, and then we need encouragement, you know, we need people like that, you know, that get on here, you know, just like, you know, like me, like I'm, you know, like I said, I always say, hey, I'm not preaching to the choir, I'm even preaching to myself, even talking to myself, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, it's sometimes like I have to understand that, you know, sometimes the word and the things that I'm saying is greater than just me. You know, it's greater than me. And actually, I seen some on, it kind of made me think about what I saw about Jimmy Jam, what he said about Terry Lewis. You know, I think him and Terry Lewis, whatever, you know, they were part of Prince's, which I didn't know. They were part of Prince's group, you know, back in the Gap, way back. And he say, you know, well, he said, you know, Jim Jam was saying, hey, they brought the best, him, you know, Terry Lewis, Prince, they brought the best out of him, you know. He said eventually they got fired by, you know, they end up getting fired by Prince because, you know, Prince was like, you know, they did some work for the SOS band. He didn't want them playing for, composing for any other group. So eventually he fired them. But, you know, I just think about, you know, kind of what he said that like, man, you know, sometimes, you know, people see something in you, you know, and know you are greater than what you're thinking, you know, about yourself. They know it's something greater within you than you see in yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I think that relates back to like iron sharpens iron. You know, some of us brothers, you know, we, you know, we can push each other, you know, and some of our sisters, you know, sisters out there too, we push, you know, their sisters, you know, into something greater. You know what I'm saying? So I would say even that, you know, don't shy away from greatness, you know, within yourself. And if you see it in somebody else, like, hey man, you may like help bring that out of them. You know what I mean? So the world, like I said, the world can be a better place when we can all experience, you know, the benefits of that, you know. So, you know, I just want to get on here and say that, and just, you know, like I said, us being in alignment and being who we are, being a better version of ourselves, and even, like I said, helping bring that out in others. You know, I just think that's something that you know, I think it's necessary, and that we should consider that, like, seriously. Um, just always just trying to be the greatest version of ourselves, and then helping bring it out in others if they can't see it. 'Cause sometimes people don't. Even me. Somebody may pull me up like, "Hey man, I see this in you, man. You need to do this, this, and this. I think you can do this better or whatever better." And then I'm always willing to accept constructive criticism, and I might not even like it, but I don't know, as a man, I am like, yeah, I may not like it, but I'm accept. I'm gonna try to find, okay, dang man, yeah, they were right. That I probably could have did. Yeah, it's gonna hurt. It might hurt me. Like, yeah, I probably could have did that better, man. They weren't lying. Yeah, they, what I'm saying, I should have did this. I probably should have done that. What they said I should have did better. So I would even say that, like, yeah, sometimes, hey, take that constructive criticism. Look within yourself. How can you get better? Like, even me, I try to do it. Like, okay, I could have did this better, man. I could have been more on point with this. I could have did that better. I could, have did a little more research. You know what I mean? I could have did, took my time a little longer to make this particular thing better, whatever it may be. Instead of being in a rush, I could have did this, and I could have made this whole process better. So I think, and within myself too, I think I'm being a little more thorough, like, now, whereas, like, I was like, dang, I know I got to do this little extra, step. I don't feel like doing, but I gonna do it because it's like, I know that it's like, I know sometimes you got to take a little bit more time. So whatever you're doing, it'll come out a little better. You know what I mean? And that's what we got to do sometimes. So, even think about that. But yeah, I'm gonna get up out here. Yeah, I just want to do this video. Like I said, I just had time. I just want to, like, man, let me go and do this video, because I know, I feel like I got something positive I want to say, to my people out there, and just, like I said, just being encouraged on some things, just want to, bring, just bring, this message or whatever. And just like I said, hope I can provide some type of positive, word to my people out there today. But anyway, I'm gonna get up out here. I hope y'all out there doing good, what I'm saying, living life for the love, happiness, and y'all doing well, doing great. But to the next one, y'all. All right, y'all. Love y'all. What's going on, y'all? Y'all just want to do this video. I was just talking about my other things about being in alignment and everything. So yeah, just want to just speak on that, elaborate a little more on that concept. And like I said, being in alignment, I think that like I said, your efforts would be double or triple or even quadrupled actually, when you are in alignment with who you are and your purpose. When you are embarking on a certain journey, if you're trying to do something in business or whatever it may be, fitness. I just think that even in that sense, like you're dealing with fitness, maybe your career, I think that could help if you are more in line with your purpose and you are trying to accomplish certain things. If it is in like I said, in alignment with who you are, I think you will be able to accomplish it much faster. So I think we should try our best to be in alignment and be able to know that, who we are as people or as a person, and knowing what we are here for, what we are put here to accomplish, put here to, to be able to if something for us to bring out to the world. And also knowing that there are certain things that we need to do to bring those things out, making certain steps to be able to bring those things out, and being able to focus on that particular thing so we can bring it to the world. I just think it's certain steps we have to take, like even, if it's something we're trying to do with our lives, and it's a certain journey we have to go on. I think it's certain things we have to do. You know what I mean? It's like, which I mentioned in earlier in the video, like, you may have to, leave, or you have a job or whatever. But that job is taking up time where that job, or you could be using that time that you're putting on the job to be able to do certain things that you need that could go better with with your business or whatever. You have a business or something like that. You may have to step away from that job so you could use that time to be able to do those certain things. And like I said, I know sometimes we get caught, like even me, I'm thinking like, dang, man, I don't want to step away from this job because it's bringing in a certain amount of gear. Like I know this income is coming in, but if I step away, I'm gonna have to get it from, grinding on my other business endeavor, whatever. That's not a guarantee, and it may not be guaranteed, but we know though sometimes when you business wise, when you're doing your own business, it could double or triple your salary at your job, and it's unlimited. Most times your job is a limited salary. Because a job is only going to pay you so much of what you're worth, and then most time with jobs you're actually worth more than they're paying you because they have already figured that in. How much I have to pay labor wise. How much I'm having to pay out in materials or whatever overhead, variable costs, maybe due to certain, getting certain materials or parts or whatever that may, certain, things that I may have to do that, that may change or whatever. I know those, I've kind of factored those in, but I factored my labor costs in. So I know what I have to pay. And I can't go over this amount so I can profit. So that's already factored in. So most time people at your job, you were working a job, we're not going to be paid more than the employer is willing to pay us, based on what they've already calculated in. So it's like, leaving though and, creating your own source of income, it could double or triple or quadruple at, like I said, kind of earlier, in being in line with when we are in line with our purpose. Our efforts to even double, triple, or quadruple. So I would even say that, that would be a step to the one of the things to do. You're gonna have to, make that jump. Like I said, stepping out on faith, but also, making calculated steps to be able to leave. It may be to where, hey, I'm putting up 3 to 6 months worth of savings, then I'm going to make sure I have certain, I have certain amount of income coming in. Like I have these certain, whether I don't know wherever the business you're in, I have a certain amount of events coming up. I have a certain amount of clientele that I have that I know it's going to it's going to generate a certain amount per month. Doing that, calculate that, even maybe making contacts like business contacts, like, okay, well, you have certain suppliers that you deal with, like, hey, I'm asking y'all for discount. I'm asking y'all for a level of discount because I'm going to continue to do business with y'all. I'm continuing to come to y'all for business. So I need this percentage discount or whatever, so I can continue to do business with y'all, and it'll help me as far as in making my profit margin so I can continue to do business and come spend money with you all, so I would say, even that, make those calculated steps. And then, when it's time, when it's time, step away, like I said, and having that faith to step away so you can, take care of your business or whatever business you need to take care of, so you can make a transition into that particular thing that you do. That's like I said, that's in alignment with who you are. So and like I said, I know, like with me, it's fitness. I feel like it's fitness as far as in food, fitness and food, and I think the two, go hand in hand. And so what I'm trying to do is have a healthy food truck concept to be able to pull up a gym. And I just think that's in alignment with who I am, Then also, I'm into music and, as well, I'm saying that's my true passion. That's where my passion lies at. And I think that's in alignment with who I am as well, so it would be a number. It's not just one thing. I would say that too. I guess as a caveat, don't think that you can only do one thing, but I would say if you have to focus on one thing and do that well, then segue into other things that you are good at doing, that you may have a passion for doing, because like I said, I've laid this out too. I've talked about this as well. Like, my whole goal is to set up, different streams of income through real estate, car rental, in food service, and music. It's going to all channel all those things. The car rental, real estate, the food service business is going to channel my efforts, or it's going to channel back to music. Where those streams of income are going to pay me or provide money for me to be able to do music for the rest of my life. Because I just know that music is my passion. That's what I have a passion for doing. And I just find that, music is, I love doing it. I find it easy to do. I can get on, just hear some music and I'm off to the races on it. You know what I mean? So I just think that's something that we have to consider. Just think about it in that sense. Think about it in that sense. You may, and that may be your strategy for you. Hey, if you know that you have a passion for something, and for you to get to that, set businesses up to where it's going to feed that. It's going to feed into that. You can use the streams of income from those businesses to fuel, what you have a passion for and what you really want to do in life. Like me, it's music, and then I have a passion for business. I love business. I'm always trying to study and read something and learn something, in regards to business. So I would say even that, like consider that, doing that. That could be a step for you to, like I said, leave. Like if you have a job, that it's taking your time, you may have to set that up. Set your streams of income up to where you can get out that job and you can, like I said, whatever your passion is, you can do that for the rest of your life, and you can actually bring that to the world. The world can benefit from it. Because I would say we're all unique. God blessed us in certain ways to be unique in who we are, and we need to bring that out of us. We need to actually, bring it to the world, because the world could benefit from it, so and don't be afraid of that. Don't be afraid to bring it to the world, man. No matter what somebody thinks of you, it's like, shoot, you can't, because they not living your life. They're not feeding you. You know what I mean? They're not able to, possibly withstand some of the things you have to withstand. They're not living your life for you. So you have to do that. You have to, be confident and be encouraged to, to bring those certain things out, that you have within you, and don't be afraid, So I just want to say that, and also, and yeah, if you have somebody make, like I said, it may be positive, video may be positive for them, what I'm saying? Like, share the video with them, like the video with them, that, help my channel, whatever, and then, like I said, it could help someone, what I'm saying? Just like, hey man, these are certain steps, just think about, that you could do, you've been talking about, you think you want to leave the job, here's certain steps that you talking about, in this video, whatever, that you could do, to help you leave your situation and, live like you need to so you can do what you would like to do in life and be in alignment with who you are, So, I just think that could possibly, like I said, be some positive information for people that could help someone. But anyway, I'm gonna get up out here. I just wanted to say that, add this, I guess, kind of like bring this additional, information, like stepwise, and just, and say that, just in addition to that, just kind of, just mention this, and say something in addition to, my video. And I'm gonna combine this with my other video, because I had already kind of spoken this, but I didn't provide the steps. So like, let's kind of break it down, kind of flush it out into certain things, certain steps that we could take, in business, and, possibly things we could do, to help us in business, that where we could get to something that we want to do in our lives, that we may not be doing right now, but we do have a passion for, So like I said, I was kind of flushing that out, because it's some of us, it may be certain things we want to do, but we're not doing it right now. We would like music or whatever. We may be an artist that, You know, we're working a job, but we know that if we had the time, we had the money, we would only be working on our artistry. You know what I mean? That's in music, you know what I'm saying? Painting, whatever you may do, whatever kind of artist you may be, you know, dancing, whatever you may do, whatever art form you have a passion for, you know, we would actually be doing that had, you know, we didn't have to, you know, work a regular job to provide for ourselves. So it's just a possible way. I just, you know what I'm saying, kind of getting on here and just kind of like, you know, like I said, just expressing my thoughts and just certain things that I think people could use, you know, to benefit from, you know, if they are, you know, artists and they're considering like, hey, I really would like to do something, you know what I'm saying, you know, and actually be, you know, part of my life, you know, and actually doing in my life instead of having to have a job. You know, how can I actually break away from that and actually be doing what I have a passion for, you know? So, but anyway, I'm gonna get up out of here. I just want to say that, just add this, like I said, add this to the video, and you know, hope people, you know, gain something from it, you know, and just, you know, like I said, be a positive word. And like I said, you hopefully, you know, like I said, share it with somebody. You know what I'm saying, like the video, you know what I'm saying, and also, you know, subscribe to my channel. But anyway, till next one, y'all. Love y'all. All right, y'all.
Fuck it, go ahead and blow off the dough. Step through the maze, man, and became amazing. About to rewrite history and change a page in a crooked book that never told us the true story. Like how we were kings and queens before the slave story, before the killing, stealing, and drug dealing on some real shit. We ran the world.